keep it all the way real on this podcast today because I am pissed. Robin admitting that she hid her story from the world on the show that pays you is a slap in the face to everyone involved, including the audience. And the fact that you have the audacity to go on your podcast to reveal this, we spent this entire half-assed season with these made-up storylines about Chris Bassett. And yes, I'm gonna say made up because I allegedly was told that a few of the housewives had a meeting before filming about what the storyline was going to be, and that this Chris Bassett stuff was part of that conversation. I've always said there was something off about this season, and now I know what it is. None of y'all are living.
In reality TV, the drama doesn't always stay on the screen. Sometimes, the biggest stories happen behind the scenes. This time, it's about Carlos King, a top producer famous for creating some of reality TV's most unforgettable moments. Carlos is now facing serious accusations, and this isn't just typical Hollywood gossip. He's caught in a scandal that could possibly get him removed from his own show. At the center of the controversy is Sogucci Williams, who has filed a lawsuit that could seriously impact King's career. This lawsuit isn't just a minor complaint. It includes claims of mismanagement and possibly questionable practices in the production of the show. Before we dive into the details of this situation, let's take a closer look at Carlos King, the man at the center of it all.
Listen, this show means a lot to Melissa in
Right.
a very different way of what it means to Teresa. I think, to your point, listen, I think anybody who watches the show can see that Melissa wants to be the top dog, and she has trouble with Teresa constantly winning in the end. And this, I'm gonna tell you, it was the season where Danielle Staub, one of my favorites of all time.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
was the season where Danielle Staub, unfortunately, Melissa, like, Teresa told me to pull the hair. What I saw was this excitement of Melissa getting the tea. Like, well, she did what? And I think of Melissa's mind, she was like, oh, baby, it's going down.
Carlos King has been a big name in reality TV for a long time. He worked behind the scenes on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, where he helped create some of the most memorable storylines. He later created his own popular series, Love and Marriage. Carlos is known for turning real-life drama into hit TV shows. His other projects, like Hollywood Divas and The Next 15, have made him a top figure in the industry. But it's not just his talent for making shows that makes him unique. Carlos often pushes boundaries, sometimes causing controversy that keeps fans and cast members talking even after filming ends. While some people praise him as a genius for making TV feel raw and real, others accuse him of taking advantage of sensitive situations just to get higher ratings. Love him or hate him, no one can deny his impact on reality TV. Now, with his name tied to a big controversy, fans are wondering if the same qualities that made him successful could also cause his downfall. Now, let's talk about Sogucci Williams, one of the standout stars from Carlos's hit show, who isn't afraid to speak her mind.
Attorney is basically saying if I'm in agreement to be in her presence or okay with having a conversation with her, it's okay.
Sogucci Williams has brought something new and refreshing to Carlos King's show, Belle Collective, which follows the lives of ambitious women dealing with work, relationships, and personal struggles in Jackson, Mississippi. As a breakout star, Sogucci quickly became a fan favorite. However, her time on the show has not been without challenges, and now she's standing up in a way that many reality stars haven't dared to. Sogucci has voiced serious complaints about how the show is produced. She feels she was treated unfairly, manipulated, and used for entertainment, which affected her mental and emotional health. One major issue she faced was her on-screen conflict with Selena Johnson. Sogucci has said that she felt like a pawn in a game meant to create drama instead of showing her real story. This manipulation left her questioning whether she wanted to stay on the show. She has shared that the pressure from production led to emotional breakdowns off camera that viewers never saw. Many fans found her honesty about these struggles eye-opening. It's rare for reality stars to challenge the very system that made them famous, but Sogucci's decision to speak out shows she's not afraid to stand up for herself, even if it means going against one of the biggest names in reality TV. And just when the situation couldn't get more dramatic, Carlos decided to respond.
That Alexis won that argument. I saw a lot of people online saying that Shannon won that argument, but I think that both arguments work for me. You know what I mean?
Listen, there's no losers here, right? They're both winners. I chose Alexis because of her iconic line, "There's a door, Shannon." I'm like, this woman used to be like this, Bible-toting, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Christian, conservative woman. She came out of that SUV smoking hot. She looks better than ever. And I just appreciate that Alexis brought it. So Alexis won to me because of the iconic line, but also because she's not at all who I remember. And that's special. So when we have these conversations about Kandi's relevancy on the show, I do think sometimes a lot of people miss what she brought out the gate. She had this ability to really give you great personal story, and she was always this very interesting peacemaker. So she was definitely a staple on the show. I really do believe in my heart of hearts that it was time for her to go. Now that Kandi is not coming back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16, I'm gonna say this, and I don't care what y'all think. In order for season 16 to be great, you at least need Portia and Phaedra back. To watch the full video, make sure you go to my YouTube channel at @TheCarlosKing_. Do what I listen. This show means a lot to Melissa in a very different way of what it means to Teresa. I think, to your point, listen, I think anybody who watches the show can see that Melissa wants to be the top dog, and she has trouble with Teresa constantly winning in the end. And this, I'm gonna tell you, it was the season where Danielle Staub, one of my favorites of all time.
Yes,
it was the season where Danielle Staub, unfortunately, Melissa, Teresa told me to pull the hair. What I saw was this excitement of Melissa getting the tea. What she did, what? And I think of Melissa's mind, she was like, oh baby, it's going down. Keep it all the way real on this podcast today, because I am pissed. Robin admitting that she hid her story from the world on the show that pays you is a slap in the face to everyone involved, including the audience. And the fact that you have the audacity to go on your podcast to reveal this. We spent this entire half-assed season with these made-up storylines about Chris Bassett. And yes, I'm gonna say made up, because I, allegedly, was told that a few of the housewives had a meeting before filming about what the storyline was going to be, and that this Chris Bassett stuff was part of that conversation. I've always said there was something off about this season, and now I know what it is. None of y'all are living your real